What's going on? Oh, an NPC! What is that? That was a person. That was a person. Got goosebumps. No, I did not like that. What's up, fellow Titans? I'm the Blue Titan, and welcome back to another episode of the Stanley Parable 2. I just realized this game trolls you on literally every dimension. I can't even name the game when I'm talking about the intro. I can't even say, welcome back to another episode of the Stanley Parable, because it changed it to the Ultra Deluxe, and now it's the Stanley Parable 2. Like, the name is different. I'm not even playing the game, and it's already messing with me. Anyway, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time getting into it. You know the score is to knock out the remaining endings that have to do with the bucket and the figurines. That is what we're here for. That's what we're gonna do. So, if you're excited for that like I am, let's get after it. Begin the game. The end is never the end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
All right, so I think our first target is going to be the confusion ending. I'm going to go that direction first, because if that one's a long one, I want to try to get through it right away.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Talk about a coincidence. That's how we start, right? I have to hear him say something about confusion right after I said the word confusion. Come on.
And entered the door on his left.
Nope.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Heck yeah.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Bucket knows a lot. I always felt like there might have been an ending in here. Like, it just feels like there's so much unique and random dialogue that happened here.
Being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
This room has so much weird, unique dialogue. Is anything different in here?
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
What?
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Hey, we had a lot of time in here. We got to give the bucket its time, too. That clock is actually moving. I don't know why, but I never paid enough attention to this. When I played through in the vanilla playthrough without the bucket, I always had this inkling that there was an ending here. Because every time we visited this room, there was a different set of dialogue that happened. Like, I don't know, maybe I walked in here and it was going to be some psychedelic thing, or maybe there was like a demon that would come out of the, I don't know, the cold drinks machine or something ridiculous. I don't know. It just seemed like it was building towards something like that. And so I kind of figured there'd be something like that for the bucket as well. And he did have some things that he was saying. It makes me wonder if I keep coming back through there, if the dialogue's going to change or not. We might have to try that, but we're going to continue on for now.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
We are going to do that, but we're not going to go back to business. We're going to go for the confusion ending.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Not this time. Man, it feels like such a long time ago that we did the confusion ending. I wonder what is...
Good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Baby! That's the adventure line, too, in the broom closet.
See, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the adventure line and the broom closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the adventure line? We could make the adventure line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
This is funny to me. I mean, I've already talked about this quite a bit about the game's self-aware, but honestly, the adventure line was one of my favorite memories of the previous game. It's just so ridiculous. I say the previous game, you know, we're kind of on the Stanley Parable 2. Does that count? But no, I love the adventure line. That was hilarious to me. The baby ending was, just the baby crying. That might have been the most obnoxious soundbite I have ever heard in my life. The baby crying with fire. Why? And I think this is supposed to be your wife, like the neighbor, the apartment ending. I think that's what that's supposed to represent. And then, of course, your computer at your desk, which is hilarious. I didn't notice that until the last second. I don't really remember there being a pencil sharpener being really important. This is kind of random to me. I feel like this could have been like maybe the copy machine, perhaps, or maybe a button or something. Oh, the Fern, yeah, the Fern. He's my favorite character. I didn't even see him. He blended in at first with the wall. So you got the Fern, who was one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite endings. The Adventure Line, which was one of my favorite endings. I don't know what that picture's supposed to represent. Like, I obviously understand the first choice that you've got here. You know, the choice between the two doors, and the I don't know what to call this other than just to say that the mass spying 1984 architect from the Matrix. I'm not sure what this represents though. This kind of gives me the Dark Knight, Batman versus the Joker interrogation scene vibes, if you know what I mean. All right, so we're gonna go on and follow the adventure line and see where this goes.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Yes! I love this. It's so stupid.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
What does he mean by that? How does he always have ways of delivering dialogue that sound both simultaneously nostalgic and it makes you smile, but then he like wraps it in a thin veneer of creep? I'm gonna have to give something like, dude, this room gives me Portal 2 vibes, like or maybe like the orange box or whatever, you know? You're an old gamer, you know what I'm talking about? Is it supposed to look like that? I feel like this room though actually isn't this what the rooms look like when we did the alternate ending and before we dropped down into the Rocket League ending, right? Because there was an area we went down there and it was right before we talked. No, this is the same background that they had when he was asking the questionnaire about whether or not you like the current changes of the game or the sequel, and then after that he throws you up against the baby. This is that background. I remember this now. See where we're going now. Oh, this almost gives me like SCP, the staircase vibes. If you guys know the SCP, like the staircase, the infinite staircase, where you just keep on going down it, and it gets more and more, you know, creepy as you go down further. Yeah, this gives you that backroom's liminal space kind of fear, like weird lighting, very narrow, makes you almost feel claustrophobic in a weird way. Taking us through some creepy stuff again, dude.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I love that they reuse assets in this game. This door just did the same opening animation.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and... The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Huh? Okay, I'm confused. I thought I put the bucket in there. I wonder if that's just the ending or if I frame for frame put the bucket in there at the exact same time as the second ending that if you don't put it in there happened. I'm a little confused. Oh.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So the bucket's available even on this ending. Oh, that's awesome.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone. Not with the bucket around.
I'm gonna go back down there really quickly and see whether or not that was actually the only ending.
In the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters. Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer and nuance that it's really like, okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting Stanley Parable characters, like, quickly now, the fans are waiting, do it, the fans, Stanley, give the fans what they want, hurry and...
I couldn't put it in there. It didn't allow me to. It just allowed me to pick up the bucket and go like this. I couldn't actually put it in there. The Bucket Destroyer reminds me of Killdozer. If you guys know what I'm talking about, go look that up if you've never heard of it. But it's basically the story of this guy who was wronged by some businessmen. So to set the scales of justice correct, the guy sealed himself into the bulldozer using steel plate and then proceeded to travel to the location of that business in this bulldozer with hundreds of police personnel. I'm not even sure what level of military intervention was involved, but went on to destroy part of this guy's business, these people who had wronged him. It was kind of like a small man versus the big man underdog story, and it's honestly hilarious. The original story for it, go look it up. There's multiple YouTube videos on this. I haven't watched it in a long time, but we got the other beginning. This is the other beginning I was talking about a few episodes ago. Remember where I was saying that there's the normal start, and then there's the other start with the blue room, and then there's that one narrow hallway that we saw. I think it was the first or second episode when I said that was the end of the episode and I had to quit there and we would come back another time, and we never saw that. This is that hallway. Okay, so this kind of just seems like a regular version of the game. I don't know what this is. What is this? I see the bucket, but is this just like a shortcut? After all of this, that's all it was? It's just a little shortcut hallway that gets you straight there? Huh. 424. I don't know if these are doors I've seen in the past or not. I don't know the numbers well enough. We'll have to remember this, but 423 all the way down to 426, 427. Are these just the regular doors that we are used to seeing, but in a different location? I don't remember these doors. This doesn't seem like there's anything going on here. You can't interact or do anything with these. This just looks like a fast track way to get to this first choice between the two doors. That's kind of interesting. It breaks the monotony a little bit. I think it's funny that they had to go through here though and actually add the bucket to the beginning. Hey, look, they put a balloon in here.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
That's new. This wasn't here on the last playthrough. What is that? Do you see that? That's a trophy or a collectible. Should we go get that? I'm gonna go get it now. All right, we got ourselves another collectible.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands, Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
A Stanlerine. All right. I guess we have a few choices here. We can either drop down and get that ending, whatever the drop, or I guess the fall ending is right now, or we can go do the recording ending. I'm going to do the fall one this time.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Oh, that was pretty simple. All right, let's go back. So if I remember right, there was this subtly different ending that if you got on this lift and then jumped off of it.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back, but that's okay. You've got a bucket. Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices? It's true. You can fall on a bucket from literally any height and survive.
Hey, that's kind of almost true if you're a Minecraft player and you know how water works.
Jump with the bucket. I promise you'll live. I extra double promise that you can land on the bucket and not die.
Another small leap for Stanley.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Hey, that's the same line from the first playthrough.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
That dialogue, we've heard that before, but I thought it was because of the heaven ending. When we were clicking the input button on all of the different terminals that had input awaiting, we were getting closer and closer towards the heaven ending, and I assumed that the bright lights were something to do with heaven out the windows or something, kind of almost some kind of a foreshadowing for that. But we're not pressing those buttons. Why is he saying that now? What's going on? Oh, an NPC! What is that? That was a person. That was a person. Whoa, I got goosebumps. No. Figurine Finders Committee meeting today. I got goosebumps from that, honestly. We've never seen a person once. That really... Oh. I did not like that. Was that us? Was that another Stanley?
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
I am really messed up about that NPC we just saw. If you watched the previous episode, you might remember that there was a foreboding, foreshadowing comment made by some undisclosed person or entity that said something along the lines of, we'll run into each other again soon. We'll run into each other again eventually. There's this foreshadowing towards a future meeting that we have yet to see happen. That's been lingering in the back of my mind for a few weeks now, wondering who or what that entity was, if we're going to see it. And I wonder if it's this other NPC that we just saw wandering around. I'm getting creeped out. Like, all right, let's go.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here. Stanley, once again, obeyed blindly.
What dark room? Does he mean in here? Oh, he probably means in here.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together. This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, is this our apartment? Whoa. Hey! Meridia's beacon is back. A nice little kitchen you got going on here, Stanley. Oh, the bucket. Press N to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Oh, there's the bucket. Press P to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Hello, bucket. Press G to go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Hey, that's not true. You can use it if you flip it over to reach to high places. Don't listen to the loud man. Press high for us to go back home.
See, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Did those two pictures become buckets? Like, that's like some kind of a... That's obviously just straight up a bucket. And this almost looks like the sun rising over a rainbow, that it's kind of like abstractly a bucket as well. So am I supposed to find the bucket again? Oh, it's on the... It's right... I got it. Press B to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Is the narrator starting to fall in love with the bucket too? Is it hypnotizing everyone? You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Let's go back home.
There's on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Than any other bucket. I like how in the house, everything else is dark. Nothing else is bringing Stanley any form of happiness at all. There's no light in his entire life except for the bucket. That's kind of what I think they're trying to kind of convey here. Press C to relive this same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
I just want to take a minute to say something here. Looking too much into this, but in the very first episode, I talked about Plato's allegory of the cave. Do you see what I'm getting at? The only thing that he sees the bucket is the shadow cast upon the wall in the cave right now, and Stanley is willingly putting himself up against the wall and only taking in what his captors are letting him see. There is definitely some element of that to this going on here. This is really cool. Press I to go home, to work, to home, to work, to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
What? Oh. It's a pretty nice bedroom, Stanley. Getting in the mood for the bucket.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley.
No.
I need it. Give it to me now. Give it,
No.
or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. Who took our bucket? All right.
His co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Listen. That's the same noise that it made a few episodes ago. I thought that was a glitch. I wasn't sure then. And I assumed that it might have something to do with the sequence of the room getting brighter. He made that comment about the room getting brighter. And then after that, I noticed that there was this sound and we picked that up. This is not a glitch. It can't be. This has to be part of the game. I don't know what this represents though. I'm not sure what's going on. I thought it had something to do with the heaven ending, but it doesn't seem like it does. What is that? If I jump outside, can I hear it? Does jumping outside do something here? No, it's just quiet.
Stanley assumed he'd broken the map.
No. Now it's gone. That really is something. I don't know what that is. We're gonna have to try to figure out what that is. That sound appears on some amount of replays through the game. I'm not sure when or how. What is that? All right, we're gonna go try to unplug that phone this time. All right.
Now pick up the phone,
No.
said the bucket. Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
I'm gonna unplug it.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look. What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Hopefully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny. I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Let's have us go back through it. You know, this is actually funny because it makes me wonder. I believe this is what we had to do last time when we unplugged the phone. So I wonder how much of this is intentionally supposed to be reutilizing the same decision trees that the original vanilla version of the game did. How much of this is locked in because that's what the original game did. And how much of it is just history rhyming and the designer is intentionally trying to make the ending remind you of the previous ending by having you kind of do the same stuff, but slightly different. I wonder if it's a game engine limitation because that's kind of what the original thing was, and they're kind of working within the frame of the original ending. They just want it to be, they have to keep it the same almost. Or if it's because they're doing it to kind of remind you of that ending.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke? The bucket spoke? Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
They're really stopping you from going over to. They even got rid of the plywood that's there. They don't want you to do the other endings. We're definitely on rails now. Look, the plywood that was there for the Stanley. Yeah, that's not even there anymore. Interesting. This really is the original ending. Backtracking, backtracking. Going to the. Whoa, hold on a second.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
No, we go to the right. I gotta be honest, I kind of expected this room to be all messed up like it was the first time. You remember that first time we came through here? The room was all warped and he yelled at you for coming through here?
What? We're back at the phone already? No, what's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again.
No.
Yes, surely that will help me.
No, don't do it. Don't.
Here we go.
Okay.
You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
We're going right again.
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Oh, okay, so it...
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I think that was a social cue to let us know that this ending is exhausted now, so we don't need to go this way again. But I am going to do it one last time just to check.
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Yep, that's it. That's the end of that direction, so we got to go left now.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
All right.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame?
Pale with shame.
What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Valve, sorry, Leroy. What's that a reference to, I wonder?
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
I wish I could show you the goosebumps on my neck and my arm. I don't want to turn around. Oh man, how did this game just turn into a horror game? Dude, no. Oh. I am so paranoid now. Yo, what is going on? We're gonna press this because I assume at some point there might be an ending associated with heaven, and we bring the bucket to heaven. So that'll be an interesting one. I don't know if I should pick up the bucket or not, because I'm not sure if this will derail us from the person following us or not. I'm just gonna continue on. I don't know what's going on with the person following us or whatever, but I'm just gonna continue going through the endings. All right, we're gonna go over the edge and go down to the recording ending now. The end is never the end is never the end. This ending before the first time really threw me off, man. This one made my stomach sink. See what we get this time. Not making any noises this time, which is somehow creepier than the first time, because the anticipation. Man, how does this game do that?
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number, I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down, it doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arm. Why everything feels so. What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes, it's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there? Caporata.
Who? Okay, I guess we'll go to the next one.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
No, no, he's saying it again. This is really the part of the thing now. What is going on? No. All right, we're gonna go to the right and then go to the other 2 doors choice with the red and blue door, if you remember. Dude, now I'm like paranoid looking behind me nonstop, wondering if there's a guy behind me. All right, this time we're gonna jump off.
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Nope.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to
Stanley's
him,
jumping.
and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Last time he said something when we jumped off. That's weird. 2B1.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please,
Okay.
step in here for a moment.
Stepping where? Stepping in this dark hallway. Okay, dude. At the end? What is that?
Now then,
Is this a
I'm
bucket?
going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1.
Yeah.
Is this a bucket?
And that would be a bucket. Oh, there's buttons. Item 1, is this a bucket? Yeah.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Fuck! What?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Yes, that's a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
This guy.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Okay. No,
Item
that's
4.
not.
Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket.
Wait a
To be
minute.
honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay,
Hey,
next.
the first 2 are too hard. How was I supposed to know they were 3D print? What? A hologram?
Is this a bucket?
Bruh. No.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Was there a bucket in the cab?
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Huh?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere.
This room's so dark. Can you leave? No? What am I supposed to do? No?
Yes, thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
No.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out.
I
I've
am-
lost all sense of perspective.
So
What
am I.
is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence, and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry, but I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
Hey, no. Don't do that. No.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
What are you talking about, dude? I wonder if there's like any rhyme to the reason to that game show. Because there were like 10 questions. I wonder if there's actually a different ending there. Like if you answer all the questions right or wrong. I'm gonna look it up really quickly. I spent like an hour in one of my videos trying to redo the bomb ending multiple times, and I don't want to go spend a bunch of time doing that, so I'm gonna look it up really quick. There is a different ending, but it's not really an ending. It's more of like an Easter egg.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to.
Look,
It should have.
Look, there's balloons on the ceiling. I didn't even see those in here. Those little details like that, I love it. That's awesome. I wonder how many people ever even looked up there and saw those. That's so cool. You know, it's actually true. I don't even know if I would have seen those if they were white, if they said the happy birthday step niece. I don't know if I would have even seen them. Yeah, so it says here that there's actually some kind of a Easter egg ending here if we answer all the questions correct.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
No, this was the hologram, right?
Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
We got it. Next one's a 3D printed bucket, remember?
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
3D printed bucket.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
All right, and this next one is a bucket. This was the first one we got right last time.
Correct. This is a bucket.
I got 3 out of them. 3 out of whatever it was, 3 of 10.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
No, this was the tractor. No, this is Patrick.
Correct. Is this a bucket?
I guess this one's the bucket, right? This was the one where he said, no, this was. This one was the one that gave me the most frustration the first time, the most troll. That's a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Yeah.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
This was the one where he said, it's both, right? It was yellow, I think. And I think I said, no.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Okay, I actually forgetting now what the rest of this was.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Okay, this one is not a bucket because it's nothing, right? We got this one right last time.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket.
Wait a second. So this says if the player presses either button after answering all 8 questions correctly, the watching man will disappear. The watching man. I don't see him. Maybe I haven't answered all the questions yet. Do I think everything is a bucket? No.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't?
Do you see him? Do you see him?
What happened? Is everything gone?
I don't like this. That's gonna have to do it for tonight. I'm tired and now I'm paranoid. I can't go on right now. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. I'm kind of flabbergasted right now. I thought I was gonna be wrapping up most of the bucket endings for tonight, and suddenly it turned into a paranoid delusion trip of being chased by some weird unnamed NPC. Who is that guy? Like, what is that? First we hear the narrator say that Stanley senses someone watching him. Then we see someone. And then we do the game show and there's a dude watching us from the audience. I didn't think there were any NPCs in this game at all. Maybe we are gonna run into that guy. The prophecy has foretold. Anyways, that's gonna do it for tonight, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and I'd say follow me, but I feel like I'm being followed enough right now. Anyway, until next time, I'm the Blue Titan, and make sure to look over your shoulder. You never know who's back there. God, I'm paranoid. Goodbye. The end is never the